Hello and welcome to the Slippy Limpets video. Today we are float fishing. Something slightly different. I do it, I don't know, it's April now? I seem to do it at the same time every year. It's kind of in my body clock, I think, but the conditions aren't great for it. It's quite choppy. Again, it's been lush all week, great weather, and then you come to Saturday. But we're down at Rockmark in southwest Scotland and we are going to get this sorted out and get a bait in the water. So there's loads of little kits available from lots of different shops. Some are more expensive than the others. I think this one was $4.95. It's a 35 gram Tronix Pro. There's no real reason why I bought this one apart from it was the only one that was in the shop. One thing to watch out for though is casting weight. You need obviously to stay within the casting rate of your rod. But really handy instructions on the back and quick and easy, and once it's set up, it's just a nice way of fishing. Nice chilled, relaxing way. So we've got two baits today. My favourite, which is prawn and also ragworm. Joanne's got the prawn on hers, so I will use rag. And she's fishing close in, and I'm going a wee bit further out. The risk with casting a float further out is that the longer it's in the air, the more chance the hook length's got of tangling up around itself. So it's good to keep your hook lengths pretty short. Now we just sit back and relax in the cold, in the wind, and wait for a bite. So everything's in a nice handy little bag. Basically, first things first is you put a bead on and then you float. This line just feeds up there. And then another bead. The beads have two functions on this rig. The top one stops your stop knot from going through the float, and that's how you set your depth. And this bottom one just protects the knot and get me ball weight. Slide that through there, and a swivel keeps it all in place. So I'll just tie that on with a uni knot. I think this has come with like 3-pound line or so. So I'm going to chop this off because we're fishing in some pretty snaggy ground. You can use your own hooks as well. I think this is a size, I don't know what size it is, actually it doesn't say. But my main line is 20 pounds mono. I put mono on because the float can damage your braid, but also mainly the stop knot doesn't slide up and down mono as easily as it does to braid. So 20 pound main line. And then I've got 12-pound mono, which I'm going to tie as a hook length. And that means if the hook gets snagged, it'll snap the hook length and not your main line. And you keep a hold of your float. And all you need to do is tie a new hook and hook length on. Oh. Yeah, got a fish. Woo! Oh, it's a wrasse. Hey!
Do you want me to get the net?
No, it's okay. So, first fish on the ragworm. Oh no, it's not a wrasse. No way. Oh, it is a wrasse. It is. It's a tiny little ballon. So that it was on the ragworm. It was literally in a few minutes. Hey, easy tiger. There we go. I love catching these things, apart from the spikiness of them. Whoop, so that's 1-0 to the ragworm over the prawn. I like prawns. The good thing about the prawn as well, especially if you buy cooked, is that when you're hungry you can eat your own fishing bait. When you're using ragworm, all we're going to do is avoid the pincers, stick the hook in. We can use half a rag really. These are quite, well, they're not big rags, but for this size hook they are. I'm just going to feed that up there so it's halfway up the line so it stays on during the cast. and then out halfway through its body. And there we go, nice juicy mess of wriggling rag for little wrasse to come along. Put it back to the same spot where Mr. Wrasse came from.
That's not where I had mine.
Yeah, I know. Oh. Oh, it is a fish. Blimey heck. That's much bigger, this one. God, it just literally landed there. And we've got a fish. Pollock this time. Must have landed that right on its head. I think this might be the first time I've ever caught a pollock on ragworm. It's because I don't do a lot of bait fishing. And there we go. Nice wee one. Probably caught this last week. Keep an eye on that, because obviously when I've chucked out before, the bloody fish hit it straight away. Second bait out.
What?
That's my second bait. Third bait.
No.
So with the sun low as it is, and on the west coast it's in our eyes being the afternoon, and there's quite a lot of glare on the water. So these are yellow floats and they're a little bit tricky to see against the glare of the water. So if it is a day like this, we've got some glare, then an orange float is a good idea, just so you can see it. Bring it back in and just drop it into there. Just drop it like in the middle of that. Now, I'm not by no means a float master, but what I have found is when you cast out, to help stop the rig from getting tangled up or your hook length, is to use your finger to break the line when you're casting. Now that means that everything straightens out. Once it's done, hits the water, and normally you can avoid getting any sort of tangle. Now I said it wasn't an ideal day, and it's mainly because of the amount of chop in the water. It's quite swelly, so it's making it tricky to actually set the float at the right depth. And also there's a lot of false bites because the float's kind of dipping under the water when the waves come. So you do have to set the depth of the float. I mentioned that they would get a little elastic band or a stop knot, elastic band, and use it as a stopper. So you basically tie it onto your line and you can slide that up and down your main line, and the distance away from the float dictates how deep you're actually going to fish. Ideally you want your float upright, which is fine, but you can tell if you're on the bottom because your float will turn horizontal in the water. It's a perfect example of fishing too deep. Which is not where you want to be, because you'll end up being snagged, unless you're over a beach or something like that. But if your float is horizontal, then you basically doesn't work very well. You'll not see a bite. It needs to be up against the stop knot. So you'll have a little play around, plumb the depths about where you want to fish, and think about the fish that you're targeting as well. Some fish are further down the water column, like pollock and wrasse and cod. Bass maybe higher up the water column. Had 2 fish in 5 minutes, and now it's been half an hour of nout. Where have all the fish gone? Yeah. Go on, get it! Yeah! Woo! Knew that would pay off. Scared to touch it.
Yeah.
Right, keep a hold of your rod.
Tail?
There's. Love wrasse. There's such, I mean, this one's a complete different colour to the one I caught. It's like camouflaged.
Yeah.
Easy, tiger, easy.
Kinda.
And your first ever fish on the float there.
Yeah.
Let's get him back. I was literally like 1.5 foot away from the shoreline. If you don't believe me about prawns being a great bait, click up there for a video I did on prawn versus I think Phil used mackerel. We could only get certain baits at the time, so yeah, have a watch. Prawn can be lethal on its day, just not today by the seams of it. I'm gonna get a prawn on. And a bit rag. I don't think I'm fishing deep enough. I think that's my problem. So I'm just going to let this line out and slide me stopper knot down a wee bit. My prawn's gone. That's not going to help either. There's my stop knot. I'm fishing about 2 lengths, rod length, so that's, well, this is 9'6" rod, so around 20 feet. We're going to try a slightly different location. Our waves seem to be getting a bit bigger, which isn't ideal. I think it's because the tide's dropping as well. This area is kind of emptying out a wee bit. Oh, fish straight away. Yeah, got it. Oh, it's come off. You git. Oh. Literally straight away there. Got enough rag, so let's get it back out. I'm not fishing anywhere. I'm too deep now. How's that working? Well, while the fishing's slow, I can go through some of the benefits I think float fishing has over bait fishing, or fishing with bait but using a ledger or a weight. With a ledger, you're pretty much stuck to one spot unless you keep casting, whereas with a float, you can let it drift in the current and fish lots and lots of ground. Also, as long if you get the depth right, then you don't get snagged as much. And obviously I got the depth wrong because I'm snagged. And it's visual as well. You get to see exactly, you know, your float bobbing around. And there's a prime example of why I use a lighter hook length. That's my 12-pound mono, and it's snapped there, and I've kept my float. Well, that's that. Swell's big, and it's 6 o'clock, so we are heading back. Good little, well, we got here at about 3 o'clock, I think, so not a bad wee session. 2 wrasse and a pollock and a lost fish. Maybe not as productive as what the lures might have been. I'm not sure, who knows. But the swell didn't make it easy anyway. But float fishing, if you haven't given it a try, do it. It's really good fun. Have you enjoyed it? Float fishing? It's Joanne's first time, and she said she enjoyed it. I'm not sure if she is just lying for the camera or not, but
I prefer the orange one.
she would have preferred a different colour float because of the sun. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, give us a comment and a thumbs up, that'd be smashing, and I'll reply to your comments as soon as I can. And thank you very much for watching as always. Tight lines. Well, while the fishing's slow, can go through some of the benefits I think float fishing has over bait fishing, or fishing with bait but using a ledger or a weight. One is someone can always keep hitting you with a fishing rod